Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at 5 great white riffs that you gotta know. And this is really a tribute to Jack Russell, the singer for Great White, who passed away a little over a week ago. As I taped this, got me thinking about Great White and growing up listening to the band as a teenager, especially the Once Bitten album, and then a little bit with Twice Shy, and even some of the earlier stuff with the self-titled record, and then the Shot in the Dark, which had Face the Day on it. So we're going to take a look at 5 of these riffs, basically from 3 different albums here. and we'll go in chronological order. Before we get started with that, make sure and check down below if you want the tab for this lesson, all 5 riffs plus the guitar profiles for most of them. Check down below and you'll see my Patreon link, and that's where you can go and grab those. Also, I've got a free gift for you. It's called 15 glam metal riffs you gotta know. Make sure and check that out. Lots of great stuff from the mid to late 80s in there. So let's get started. All of these are in standard tuning, and we'll go in chronological order. This is the first one, Face Today. It's from the Shot in the Dark album, which was 1986. All right, and so this one's in the key of A, and it starts out with kind of a semi-clean, quiet-ish tone that goes. Let's do that much first, and then I'll show you how it sort of caps that part off. So you're just sliding into the 7th fret on the A string, and then 5th fret on the D, and then open A, and then 7th fret D and G. So, and that open A, by the way, is muted. And then we're going to play 5 and 5 on the D and G, and then down to an A5 power chord. So I've got a pretty overdriven sound here. I'm just rolling back the volume, and I'm picking lightly. Here's my full. Okay, but for this, just roll down some of the volume. Twice on that. And then that's really cool. Starts out the same, but then it goes. That's really part of like a D7, but with an A as a low note there. And that's 4th fret D, 5th fret G. And then here's open A string, and then 3 D, 5 G. That's an F chord, and then resolves to an A. So we go like this. Okay, so that whole thing should sound like this. Okay, now what you're going to do, if you're playing along to the album recording, you would repeat that 3 times. So you'd play it 3 times total, and the last time you hit on the A chord, and then you raise your volume up. So okay, and that's basically the verse, which is same start, and then we just change it a little bit here. And all I'm doing there is hitting 5 on the D, 5 on the G, open A. So once on the chord, once on the open A, twice on the chord, open A, and then A5 power chord. It repeats that twice as long as I just played there. And then the chorus goes like this. So it's the same riff basically. We're just going to go to the whole chord sequence right away. like that, and you're done. So make sure and go ahead, like I said, go over to Patreon, grab the tab for this and the Guitar Pro, and you'll be able to follow along just in case you get lost. Okay, so that was Face Today from 1986. Now let's move on to the next album from 1987. This is Once Bitten, and let's take a look at All Over Now. Okay, here's All Over Now. It goes like this. Great riff. A little tricky to play because we're incorporating a double stop here, and actually 3 double stops. And I'm also using my thumb here for a couple of the low notes. So kind of like this. So the first time we're going to bend we're going to bend on the 9th fret G string while holding down the 10th fret on the B. And then the other double stops are on the 9th fret G and B, 7th fret G and B. So we're in B minor here. Kind of like a B Dorian thing going on here. So that's what you're doing. And then when it repeats, we do a little extra bend there. Okay, so here it is from the top slow. Alright, so it cuts short a little bit on the last one, and it goes like this. So right after you go, right after you hit that, we're going to a B there. So we're playing basically in B minor down here at the 2nd fret instead of up here now. And this is how Mark Kendall, the guitar player, does it. So did some research on this, and that's what he does. So So all that is we're playing the 2nd fret on the E string, and there's a D chord here. Then we're going to go, that's an A chord, 2nd fret, D and G, and then B chord, 4th fret, D and G. All while playing that B note muted in between the chords. Pick up here. We're going to get to a G like this. And that was just 2nd fret on the A string, open A, and then your G chord, and then you play 2nd fret and 3rd fret on the D and on the G and B. There's your A chord again. Same deal. Just this time now we have a G in the low for the low note here. And then back to B. Actually, after this, it goes up to a D just briefly. And back to the B, and then it starts on the verse. Yeah, we're not going to go into that. So here's the whole riff. Super cool riff. That's all over now from Once Bitten. Okay, next riff we're going to take a look at is the lead-off track from Once Bitten, and this is Lady Red Light. This starts with a 16th note triplet figure in the key of G minor. It goes like this. You play this 14 times. Let's look at that first before we kick in the rest of the riff. Like I said, 14 times on this would be considered once. Okay, those 6 notes. All this is pull-offs. So we're going to go 5 on the G, 3 on the G, pull off to the open string. Do the same thing on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. And when you come out of that, you'll play an F5 chord. And this is at the 3rd fret D, 5th fret G, and you can add the 6th fret on the B string if you want. Saw me counting there, so that's 14 of those, and then it comes out on the F. Okay, let's take a look at this next part. We're going to start with a big slide, and then we're going to grab this G note on the low E string at the 3rd fret with the thumb. Okay, and that's the pattern. We're going to play 2 of those, and then we're going to go 3rd fret D and G, 5th fret D and G. Do that again. The second time, add vibrato on the 5th fret. Like that. Back to 3rd fret D and G, then open D and G, and then pause, and then again on the open D and G. So pay attention to this, the details on this slowly. So with the slide. Starts again. Same riff with a different ending. Instead of hitting that open D and G again, you're going to play the F5 chord. Okay, back to the first one. Now this time we're going to go, actually let's go back to that second one. I forgot the little fill there. Yeah, sorry about that. So that's after the F chord. This will be the second time on the riff. We're going to play 10th fret G, 11th fret B. Just and then slide that off. So it would sound like this. Try that again. Just like that. Okay, so here's what we have. Those first 2 passes. Third time. Same as the first, and the last one goes. This time we're just going. So twice on that low G, and then 3rd fret D and G, 5th fret D and G, 3rd fret D and G, open D and G, and then F. And that's right before the verse. Okay, but we won't go into that. Here's that whole riff again. We'll play. Let's start from the pull-offs. All right. See if I can count to 14 here. Okay, the next riff is also from Once Bitten, Twice Shy. This is On the Edge. I always like this one. It's heavy in the key of E, and it goes like this. That's the riff. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this riff. On the demo, I did it like this, just with power chords. You can also do it like this. Which is the same thing, you're just leaving off the lower note on the A string here. Alright, so I'm going to show you the full power chord version just because it's a little beefier sounding, especially with one guitar. And so you're just going to play an E5 power chord to start out with, 7th fret A, 9th fret D, and then you're playing that low E string, chugging away. Then you're going to go D power chord, low E, C5 power chord, that's at the 3rd fret, D's at the 5th, C's at the 3rd fret. Then we're going to go, so that's A over C sharp, which means you're playing an A chord, but it's got a C sharp as the lowest note in the bass position. So that all that is 4th fret A, 7th fret D. So that's why I like to use my my index and my pinky for power chords, is because you might be going between these things all the time, right? Plus my hand's a lot more relaxed playing with the pinky instead of the ring finger. Imagine going, that's weird, right? You're gonna have to do this anyway. This is a really relaxed hand position. If you watch guys like James Hetfield play rhythm, they always play their power chords like that with the pinky. And there's a reason why. I think it just it's less tension on the hand, I think, that way. Okay, so here's what we got. And that's just from that A over C sharp to a D5 power chord. D, C, C, A, D. And then we're going to play C5, and then open E, and then this little run. 3-2 on the low E, and then it starts over. And that's the whole riff. So let me play through it a few times here. And that on the last one, you just go from C to D. That resolves to an E power chord. So that is On the Edge. All right, and last but not least, for this tribute to Jack Russell, we're going to take a look at Mista Bone. And this was from 1989 on the Twice Shy album. And this might be my favorite riff of the whole bunch here. It's just got that super cool groove. They named their website mistabone.com, so there must be a deeper story that I'm not aware of there, or maybe not. It might just mean what you think it means. So this riff is great because it's got the muting, it's got the groove, the swagger to it. It's really cool. So basically the song starts out like this, just on an E power chord. It's really a bass note with like a muted guitar behind it if you watch them. Okay, so let's take a look. So after the opening, it's just on an E chord. We're going to do this. And that's open E 3 times with that rhythm. Okay, and then we're going to go 3, 4, 5. And these are all muted. And then we're going to go to the open A string. And let me walk you through this. That's open A, 1st fret A, 2nd fret A. So, and then we're going to play open A and 1, 2 again. Open D string. So, then we're going to play 2 and 1 on the A string. So we have this. Whoops. So let me do that again. So. Now we do this. This is the tricky part. And that's the E note on the 2nd fret, D string. Roll your middle finger over and grab it, and then play 2, 1 on the A. Open A. So 2, 1 open. And then you're going to play 2, 1 A open, and then 3 on the low E. And that's the entire riff. And I might split it up into halves like, and then and that's the whole riff up to now. Okay, so and then we're back to the beginning. And we got the Jimi Hendrix chord. 7 on the A, 6 D, 7 G, 8 B, play them all together and slide it off. So now the ending of this goes, and that's open A, 1st fret, 2nd fret A, open D, and then 3rd fret, low E, open E. And then we're going to play G5 and A5 at the 5th and 7th fret, D and G, up to 7th and 9th fret, D and G. Okay, that's the first half of the riff. The second one is exactly the same, but it has a different ending where it goes. Well, it's the same, but it goes. And this time it has chords on the upbeat, open E, A to G this time. And it resolves to an E power chord. So that goes. Okay, so you'll see how both parts fit together. Let me do the whole thing now. Mista Bone, great riff. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, my first time playing great white riffs on this channel. I can't believe it took me so long to get to it. There's still a lot more really cool stuff I'd like to check out. Maybe some guitar solos from Mark Kendall, great player, blues bass player, awesome. But we'll see how things go here down the road on the channel. But for now, I'm really happy to get these out to you, and go listen to some great white and think about Jack Russell and all that he did with the band. A lot of times people just want to think about the negative stuff. The Rhode Island incident, which was terrible tragedy. There's no getting over that, or there's no making that look any better than what it was. But still, we can remember the music. We can remember Jack, and by all accounts, he was a good guy. So hope you enjoyed this. Make sure and grab the tab over at Patreon. I'll see you next time. Rock on. Thank you.